Continuato.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Pittsburgh Invitational. It is one of the most difficult golf courses in the United States, Oakmont Country Club outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, who was a part of that dramatic U.S. Open in 1994 at Oakmont, ultimately won by Ernie Els. Frank, when you think of Oakmont, what comes to mind?
The difficulty of the golf course, Rich. I know a lot's changed over the last 20 or so years. A lot of the trees have been removed, but really that wasn't the story of Oakmont. It's the slick greens, how firm and fast they can be. The members there, for example, they marvel at the fact that people think they're fast. They say we putt on these greens every single day and they're certainly no slower. But it's the bunkering as well. There's 210 bunkers here. They're all in play. And it just has that history. When you step on Oakmont, you just know you are walking on not one of the great courses in North America, but one of the great courses in golf.
Excellent opening tee shot. That ball right in the fairway. Frank, what do you see here on this approach shot at number one?
There's a little bit of doubt because of the semi-blindness down the hill. If you can just pick up on the top of the flagstick, what really has to be taken into consideration is that little run-in area towards the front of the green. It goes down towards the green, and just before it gets there, it goes up again. So that means if you play your second shot a little too far short, chances are it will not make the green. Once you get on the first 5 or 6 yards of this green, then it all tends to slope towards the back of the green. It's a tough second shot to get right.
He'd settle for par here. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
A lip out's fine as long as it doesn't happen to you.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though.
Relatively short par 4, second hole. Frank, what's the right play off the tee here? It's probably not driver.
It certainly isn't. You need a decent yardage in for your second shot, so you don't really want to hit it past those last of the 6 bunkers on that right side. It leaves a shot of 100, 110 yards. There's another tee box a little further up where they can make it like drivable at 265 yards, but for such a short hole, this is sort of a fearsome one. You always feel like you're making a mistake when you're putting the ball on the tee. Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Getting ready for the approach here at the par 4 second. That is classy.
Yeah, chance of going in.
He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today? Rough start with that bogey on number 1, but right back at it with a birdie to even up the card. So here we are at the third hole, par 4, again 428 yards. Frank, have you ever seen anything quite like the bunkering that we have here on the left side of this hole?
No, the church pews, they're famous obviously for Oakmont, and they have that tendency to drag your eye to that left side. Really, you hit anything that you can get off on the fairway off this tee, whether it's a long iron, I don't care what it is. If you want to try and hit driver down there, well, good luck, because this really is about the second shot. Somehow avoid that trouble there so you've got a second shot. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Just a case of a hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Bang for another birdie. 8 under par for the tournament. For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in now on our featured golfer here at the 4th. Frank, our featured golfer has been steady so far.
A little extra.
I mean, that is one of the hardest drives.
I'm on golf ball. Shout out to Human Torch, superhero. But that's 4. Marvel.
Long just meant longer.
Good tee shot right in the fairway and plenty long.
Second shot.
That shot does finish up on the green, but it sets up for a very difficult putt. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Now this for birdie. Came away with a bogey on the previous round. Putting up some impressive numbers out here now. 9 under for the tournament. We're at the 5th hole now. Short hole, but Frank, pretty challenging even at 382 yards.
Yeah, you've got the bunkers are staggered. The first 3 coming down the left side, and then they start to link up with the ones on the right side that just sort of narrow this fairway up. It just sort of changes the strategy. But if you can just sort of thread an iron up there, that's the main thing. Because this green is going to be very narrow in the front and then slope away to the player's left.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. So Frank, downhill shot, what's the right way to play it?
Well, normally downhill, you're also reducing the amount of loft. So you got 2 choices, either hit a little bit easier or actually take a little bit more loft.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's formality now.
And getting ready for the putt. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. He'll take par and move on. Frank, what's the pros' take on the first par 3 here at Oakmont, the 6th, at just under 200 yards?
Oh, it's a real beauty. Very narrow in the front. You can see how it pinches in so close. It starts to widen up, but even to try and carry that bunker on the right side, there's very few players in the world that could hit it that high and manage to stop the ball in that corner. Once again, you're trying to thread it through that avenue at the front of this green. It's a tough par 3.
Don't want to miss it right here.
No. Well, that's the best that was going to be on the fringe.
Not too bad. Solid play, heart of the green. Well, considering the lead that he has on the rest of the field, a par is all you need. All right, Frank, take us down onto the 7th hole, par 4 at 434 yards.
Another one that's just another great driving hole. Bunkers on both sides of the fairway, so you can't really bail out either way. Used to be some trees in that down the right side. They've been removed, replaced now by fescue. So if you do miss those bunkers right or left, it's not exactly one of the easiest chip out to the fairway. Another one that's a must-hit fairway. The reason why? It's a long par 4, and it's the only way you can hit this par 4 and 2.
It is always easier to play it from the short grass, and that is where he has been all day, just laser-like off the tee. Hasn't missed a fairway. Frank, our featured player, a bit wobbly of late. This is an important approach shot.
It is. Time to just hit the brakes, do a little reset. Things aren't completely lost yet. Start to get back to that positive frame of mind.
Well, that's just a tee to green clinic, a seminar on how to do it the right way. Every single green in regulation. Shouldn't be a problem here.
A little bit more hope than determination in that putt.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Continuing to putt with confidence. The par 3 8th. This is where Angel Cabrera, Sunday at the U.S. Open in 2007, made a deuce, and it was set up to play at 300 yards on that final day. This is all you want, Frank, in a par 3.
Yeah, it was the first 300-yard par 3 ever in a U.S. Open.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Trying to make yet another birdie. Not his best stuff right there. Keep the round going, those par putts. Here we are at the 9th, par 4, 477 yards. Frank, this is a rugged hole.
It is. It used to be a par 5. Some say it should still be a par 5. Long, straight hole, runs alongside the first hole there. Bunkers left and right. And, of course, if you find the rough, the remnants of what it used to be a par 5 is that nice little cross bunker in the middle of the fairway, which forces you to lay up.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. That is an excellent play right there. The approach, getting him another good look. He has a birdie opportunity here. Oh my goodness, he just missed that. And that was almost tap-in distance. So they'll tap in. Continues to roll it very well all day long. Take a look now at the 10th hole, Frank. Par 4, 462 yards.
Yeah, this one can play a lot of different distances. And the reason why is if you can sneak a driver to catch the downslope, it can run all the way down. You can have just a wedge in here. If you're not as fortunate and you leave it hanging up on that hill, it plays a good 200 yards for your second.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. Moving on to the 11th hole here at Oakmont, par 4, 379 yards. Frank, one of our colleagues at Golf Channel, Brian Hammond's always liked to say, keep it in the short grass. It is nice to play from the fairway.
The game's so much easier from the fairway. Less decisions to be made. You don't have to worry about a flyer or the lip in front of the bunker or a tree. The game almost appears straightforward from there.
Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Frank, that looked good to me. came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important that this one goes in.
Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Now at the par 5 12, 667 yards. Frank, you've played golf around the world at the very highest level. I've heard you say you think this is one of the hardest par 5s.
He's gone for a little extra.
Are you kidding me? Come on.
Come on, golf ball.
All that hard?
That is crushing it beyond all crushing.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Third shot, looking for a good one. And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Settles in over the putt.
Oh, another one goes in.
Well, Frank, what about this par 3 13th? Measures 183 yards.
It has a little bit of a crescent-shaped green, but it looks like the green should shape that way, but the actual contours of the green go in the opposite direction. The only good thing about that is chances are you've got an uphill putt.
That's a beautiful shot, and that sets him up for a really easy putt. Bogey here yesterday, chance to better that today. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
What the heck kind of angle was that? That was hilarious.
Well, considering the lead that he has on the rest of the field, a par is all you need. Rich Lerner back with you at the 14th hole at Oakmont. And this is a hole that offers up a pretty good scoring opportunity, a short par 4 at 358 yards. Frank, what kind of approach shot is this at 14?
Well, you have a couple of different areas you can aim at. When the flag's on the right, that right corner, it's definitely easy enough to stop it there. Even the back corner, you can go more directly at this flag, or just use the mounding in the middle of the green and let the ball run towards that flag in your favor. This green is a little more conducive to good approach play.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Pretty much doing everything right this week. 11 under for the tournament. All teed up at the 15th. It's a par 4 of 499 yards. Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Great effort right there, and a great chance to knock in that short putt. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, this is a point in the round where you really need to summon your best stuff. Par 3 of 231 yards. You know the pressure's building. We're at the 16th hole, and you have a long iron in hand. You can't flinch. You can't take it halfway back and go. This has to be the complete swing, and you have to really have the nerve on this shot.
Yeah, this shot has to be hitting right out of the button, that's for sure. One thing to consider, though, in the back of your mind, it's always better putting back uphill. Well, uphill is actually from the back of the screen. So you actually can be a little braver on 16 than what you might think standing on that tee, because a little long is better than a little short.
Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Wow, I thought he made that. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. This hole is playing tough. Bogey here yesterday. Now looking at bogey again. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
Now on to the 17th hole, and Frank, in so many ways, this determined the outcome of the 2007 U.S. Open. Jim Furyk had his issues here. It's just 313 yards, but it can really play with a player's mind.
It's such an unusual par 4 for a U.S. Open, plus also where it comes in the round, because the options, and there's only really two, is like a 4 or 5 iron, you sneak it up the right side, or you take a driver directly at the green. You would think there's something in between, but really there isn't. And that's why, to your point, it stopped Jim Furyk, it stopped Tiger Woods, it allowed Cabrera to win. It also helped Ernie Els, who went with the driver option there back in 1994. So 17, it's short, it's tempting, it is at a U.S. Open, but it is still demanding.
Birdie try up next. Coming off a bogey here yesterday, chance to make it right. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Well, Frank, he'll drop at least one shot here. That was not his best effort.
No, poor is the easiest way to put that. He knows it.
Bogey there, Frank, but really not a big deal as we look at the leaderboard. Great finishing hole here at Oakmont, Frank, the 18th.
I remember back in 1994, this was the last hole in a US Open ever played by Arnold Palmer. You couldn't pick a better finishing hole to win a championship or say farewell.
Look at this. Look at all the power in that.
Hang on, golf ball.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Oh, can't hide the flag stick from that man. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Oh yeah, he's made it for a birdie. Just a great putt and a great win.
Emmanuel Nard wins Pittsburgh Invitational. Emmanuel Nard won the Pittsburgh Invitational on Sunday for his 94th PGA Tour title and 21st time this season. Nice, fresh. Nard finished with a final round 4 under 65, 50 or 66 to close out the victory. Yes, Nard finished with a final round 4 under 66 to close out the victory. All right, thank you for the announcement. CBC Naruto over now, and also a shout out today is the December 19th, 2019. That's team number of the year and the decade and the month 2019. December 2019. That's month of the year and that's month of the decade. Alright. Shout out to Cats, the musical movie coming out tomorrow on December 20th, 2019, and also Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker movie come on that same day tomorrow on December 20th, 2019, one day. Both movies are gonna be perfect. Star Wars also on Disney Plus. Shout out to that also. Disney Plus is perfect. There's movies on there like Captain Marvel with Margot Brie Larson and Avengers Endgame. Brie Larson's also in that too. And all Disney Channel shows, Disney Channel original movies, the House of Musical trilogy, House of Musical, House of Musical 2, House of Musical 3, House of Musical, House of Musical Trio, House of Musical, House of Musical 2, House of Musical 3, and it's perfect. And Disney Plus is perfect, and it's all just perfect. So shout out to that. And with all that being said, CBC Naruto over and out. And like I said, today is December 19th, 2019. Alright, CBC Naruto over and out.